Where are you? The message blinked on Sarah's phone at exactly 3:03 a.m. The strange part? It was from Emily, her sister, who had vanished 2 years ago. No calls, no clues, just gone. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She tapped the message. It opened an empty thread. No previous texts, no contact name. Just a single GPS coordinate, deep in the mountains of Caro Valley, a place she'd never heard of. She rubbed her eyes, confused. Her phone said message received yesterday, but she checked it obsessively every night before bed. This wasn't there before. She copied the coordinates into Google Maps. Nothing. Blank. No roads, no trails. Only a single gray blotch in the forest labeled, Restricted Zone 13B, do not enter. Her heart began to race. Sarah had always believed Emily was alive, somewhere. Everyone else had moved on. But this message, this meant something. She didn't even pack much. Just a flashlight, a power bank, and Emily's old necklace, the one she wore every day before she vanished. She printed out the coordinates and left a note on her fridge. If I'm not back in 2 days, call the police. Then she drove. By sunset, she reached the base of Caro Valley, an eerie, fog-covered stretch of forest. There were no signs, no buildings, no gas stations, just a cracked asphalt road leading into the trees, completely overgrown. As she stepped out of her car, she heard something unnatural in the trees. Not birds, not animals, whispers, low, rhythmic, echoing. She turned her flashlight on. The trees were strange, all slanted slightly inward, like they were leaning toward something. She took one shaky breath and stepped into the woods. The moment her foot hit the dirt trail, her phone buzzed again. It lit up with a new message. You shouldn't have come here. The road didn't just vanish, it changed. What was once cracked asphalt under Sarah's boots became smooth cobblestone, wet like it had just rained. But there was no rain, no sky, only fog. And then the trees ended. Like stepping through a curtain, she crossed an invisible line and stood at the edge of a town. Old, wrong. It wasn't just abandoned. It looked like it had been waiting. A crooked sign hung above the entrance. Welcome to Grey Ridge. Estracon, 1883. Population unknown. The buildings were Victorian style, warped by time. Windows boarded, doors half open, street lamps flickered, though there were no power lines. Not a single car, not a single sound. Sarah stepped forward and noticed something terrifying. No birds, no wind, not even the sound of her own footsteps. The silence was absolute. And then she saw it. A figure, at the far end of the street, standing still. Watching. Tall, unmoving, faceless. She blinked. It was gone. Her phone buzzed again. A new message. I'm in the house with the yellow door, but don't trust the mirrors. Emily. She spun. There it was. A crooked house with a peeling yellow door, swaying gently like someone had just gone in. Sarah approached it slowly. The air got colder. Her fingers trembled. And when she reached for the doorknob, the mirror in the window moved. Her reflection was smiling. But she wasn't. Sarah yanked her hand back from the doorknob. Her reflection was still smiling. Still smiling. She wasn't even moving. The smile widened. Then the mirror fogged over from the inside. Words appeared in the condensation, written by an invisible finger. She's not your sister anymore. The door creaked open on its own. Darkness waited inside. Sarah's breath came fast. She turned on her flashlight, but the beam refused to pierce the blackness. Still, she stepped in. The house was alive. Not literally, but somehow it knew her. Pictures on the wall had her face as a child. Her school photo. A photo of her and Emily at the lake. But the faces were wrong. Emily's eyes were blacked out. Sarah's smile was replaced with a slit, not drawn, not edited, carved into the paper. The stairs creaked under her weight as she followed the sound of humming, soft, off-tune, childlike. Upstairs. Second door on the left. The humming stopped. She pushed the door open. It was a bedroom, and sitting on the bed, her sister, or someone wearing her sister's face. Emily looked up with hollow eyes. "Sarah," she whispered, "you shouldn't be here. It doesn't want you." Before Sarah could speak, the lights exploded. The room shook, the walls groaned, and behind her, from the mirror across the room, a second Emily crawled out. This one was smiling, and her eyes were pitch black. Sarah couldn't scream. She couldn't move. One Emily sat silently on the bed, her real sister, maybe. The other one, the mirror Emily, grinned like a broken doll and whispered, "She's not who you think she is, neither are you." The lights in the room stuttered like a dying heartbeat. Then mirror Emily lunged. Sarah slammed the door shut just in time, but not fast enough to stop the hand from reaching through. It clawed the wood, leaving deep, burning gashes. Black liquid oozed from the scratches. It hissed when it touched the floor, like acid. The real Emily stood slowly. "I told you not to come," she said. Her voice trembled. "The town, it keeps what it likes. And it likes you, Sarah." Sarah backed away. "What is this place? What happened to you?" Emily's eyes filled with tears. But they weren't tears. Tiny shards of mirror slid from her eyelids like glittering drops of glass. And then she whispered something that shattered every bit of Sarah's sanity. "You were never supposed to leave this place. You were born here, just like me." The house shook. Loud, rhythmic pounding came from downstairs. Not footsteps, knocks. 3 knocks. A pause. Then 3 more. Like someone was knocking from every door in the house at once. Emily grabbed Sarah's hand. "There's one way out, the lake, but you have to go now." Sarah hesitated. "You don't have much time. Once the town chooses your reflection over you, you start to disappear." And then she saw it, in the mirror on the wall. Her reflection was already turning its head away. Sarah ran. Not down the stairs. They were gone. Just a spiral hallway of mirrors, stretching forever, each reflecting her, but slightly wrong. Some versions smiled when she didn't. Some bled. Some had no eyes. And in one, her reflection reached forward and tapped the glass from inside. "You're running out of time," whispered Emily beside her. Or was it Emily? The walls shifted. The mirrors grew faces. Sarah closed her eyes and screamed as loud as she could. And the mirrors shattered in unison. She opened her eyes. She was outside, standing at the edge of a black lake. The air was still, cold, dead. Emily pointed to a small wooden boat tied to a crooked post. "You have to row," she said. "Alone." Sarah stared at her. "You're not coming?" Emily smiled. "I never left." Her body twisted, cracked, and broke like porcelain. Shards of her collapsed into the soil. No blood, no bones, just pieces of glass. Sarah didn't cry. She couldn't. She got into the boat and pushed off. The lake was silent. Halfway across, she heard it again. The humming. A familiar tune, childlike, broken. It was coming from the reflection in the water. She looked down, and her reflection was rowing too. But it had stopped copying her. It was smiling, wide, and it leaned forward. Then it pulled her in. Black water, screams, hands. Sarah gasped, choking, and awoke on her bedroom floor. Breathing, alive, soaked in lake water. Her phone buzzed. A new message. "We made it out, right?" No contact. No name. Just a reflection in the black screen. And it was still smiling.